Tonight on CTV News at 11:30. Harsh words are exchanged at a Sault Spanish Rivers Council meeting.
Shame on all of you. Every single one.
It comes following some vocal opposition to a proposed solar farm near Massey. Plus, some students in Algoma could face potential suspension if they don't get their vaccine records up to date. And promoting the importance of organ donation.
This is a big part, that knowing there's a little bit of him out there.
Families who know firsthand come together to promote it ahead of Green Shirt Day.
CTV News at 11:30 with Ian Campbell and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for staying up with us. We begin tonight with yet another major road closure in our region. At last check, Highway 11 was once again closed, this time between Collins Drive in North Bay and Armstrong Street north. Highway 65 in New Liskeard. Details remain few and far between, but the closure has so far been several hours. OPP closed that same stretch last night as well due to icy conditions and numerous crashes. Well, tempers flared tonight at a Sault Spanish Rivers Council meeting as a group of residents opposed to a potential solar farm near Massey came out to voice its opposition.
Shame on all of you. Every single one.
Nice language.
Council voting down a resolution tonight to rescind support for a proposed solar farm in the Massey area. Security had to be on hand over reports of that large group demanding to be heard. Most councillors sticking to their vote at the end of it, with some saying they had bylaws to follow and this project was still in the early stages. The mayor adding some of those arguments were provincial jurisdiction and public consultation would be coming.
This is not a full-time job. We all have jobs outside of here, or most of us do. And I don't like all the abuse and the badgering and the threats and emails and the bullying that goes on. We are trying to do the best we can do for the township. And if that means supporting these landowners for now, and it's not even a thing yet. They've only sent in the application. The application hasn't been okayed.
The 150 megawatt solar facility would be created by potential renewables on a 600-acre property. There would still have to be an environmental study. Potentia would also need to secure a contract with the province's independent security system electricity operator. Algoma Public Health says it's now issuing suspension orders to students with incomplete vaccination records. In a news release sent out over the dinner hour, APH says letters are being sent to parents and guardians of students with missing vaccination records. They're also being sent to the student's home address as a follow-up from earlier notices in November. If no action is taken, it says affected students will be suspended from school for up to 20 school days this spring. Provincial law dictates students must be vaccinated against certain diseases to attend class. Despite millions in possible cost savings, Council in Sault Ste. Marie has opted to reject a proposal to privatize the city's landfill. CTV's Corey Nordstrom reports.
An unsolicited offer to acquire the airspace of the Sault's landfill nearly came to pass at this week's council meeting. GFL Environmental aimed to manage the site for at least 25 years, offering to build an organic waste processing facility and negotiate a payment cost for each metric ton of municipal solid waste. Ultimately, what swayed many on council, resulting in a 6-5 rejection, was the wide variance of savings that could come with privatization, ranging from 39 to 122 million.
That's not concrete enough for me to be able to make a decision on. I know that the service we have now is perfect the way it's running. There's always improvements, but they're doing a great job, and I'm ready to support that going forward.
This decision preserves the local jobs, the wages, the benefits, and the public oversight that keeps our community safe. At the end of the day, we all know that privatization only leads to profits for the private companies.
The recent council report did make note of job options for those staff who would have to choose between remaining with the city or staying at the landfill. With the nail officially in the privatization coffin, the focus switches to the future of the site, which has operated since the early 1960s.
We've got about 2.5 years left in the landfill. And we do expect approval from the province this year, which would then give us, another 25 years of life at the landfill.
While the city awaits the go-ahead on expanding the footprint of the landfill, staff continue to work on the creation of a composting facility, something that was supposed to be in place last year.
It will be a process because we have to finish the detailed drawings, then we'll RFP it, and then construction. So we're probably looking at, a couple-year time frame to get it up and operational.
Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
Timmins City Council has selected a location for a temporary designated encampment. As CTV's Lydia Chubak reports, it also approved measures to address ongoing concerns related to an encampment behind the living space shelter.
Without putting any kind of parameters, details.
Timmins council members say with warmer weather on the way, they want to improve safety and reduce the presence of tents in public spaces while responding to the immediate needs of individuals experiencing homelessness. With a 6-1 vote, council specified the Pine Street location, a spot it voted against last year.
Councillor Wassell. Against. Your worship.
In favor.
Councillor Rock-Wassell voted against Tuesday night's resolution, and councillors Andrew Marks and Corey Robin were absent from the meeting.
So it is, quite a distance from the downtown core. It still is within the city, and so there's a certain level of proximity there. But I think it's the fact that it's away from residential that made it so favorable to council. Staff will be looking at what the designation of this encampment site will really mean for the municipality, what work needs to be done by us internally as the city, and then what we'll be looking to our community partners for support on.
Council also says temporary fencing will be installed in the laneway behind Living Space Shelter, where an encampment was established last summer. This is an attempt to appease neighbors in the area who complained about issues that arose from the encampment.
It's really to provide that barrier between the residential properties in the neighborhood, and the discussion was, do we have gates or allow accesses for vehicles? And that's where I think we're going to have to discuss with the residents that are impacted in that area and see what they would potentially think works best for their scenario, and work with them to come up with a solution to that aspect of the challenges.
Black adds there is no government funding available at this time for the new site. It will come as a cost to the municipality. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
The City of Timmins has awarded the contract for the development of a new transit master plan. Gannett Flaming Canada ULC will conduct a review of the current transit network and service delivery model before developing a plan to guide the city's transit policies for the next 20 to 25 years. The city says public input will play a critical role in the master plan development process. Still in Timmins, the city has also approved 2 bridge projects in South Porcupine. The Evan Street Bridge will be replaced with a single-span concrete box girder that will include sidewalks and pedestrian safety fixtures. The $5.1 million project will also improve water flow beneath the bridge, reducing blockages during spring runoff. Construction is expected to take 2 years. And the Golden Avenue Bridge will get a nearly $700,000 facelift, including upgrades to guardrails and safety features, culvert repairs, and repaving. Sudbury's Drug Enforcement Unit seized weapons and drugs from a man they say is a repeat offender. Police executed search warrants on King Street yesterday for an apartment and a detached structure and arrested 2 people. The search of the spaces and individuals led police to a handgun with an extended magazine, cocaine, and nearly $3,000 in cash. Police say this is the 3rd time the 44-year-old man has been arrested on drug and firearm-related charges since June 2024. Green Shirt Day is coming up, a day that raises awareness about organ donation. CTV's Eric Tashner has more.
2 different families from 2 different walks of life. The Boulay family and the Dugas family are interconnected through their son's generous organ donation.
This is a big part, that knowing there's a little bit of him out there.
After Noah Dugas from North Bay died following an unexpected brain bleed in 2020, his organs were donated, ensuring 7 people are alive today.
We did receive a letter from the heart recipient, which was an 11-year-old girl who received Noah's heart. So that, for us, was tremendous.
When Logan Boulay was killed after the Humboldt Broncos bus crash, his selfless decision to be an organ donor saved 6 lives.
He was able to donate his corneas, his liver, his kidneys, his heart, and his lungs. He has a bit of a legacy, and he's made a difference, which I think is what any of us ever want.
Green Shirt Day, which runs on April 7th, was created in honor of Logan, whose choice inspired his parents to kickstart conversations about the thousands of Canadians on the organ transplant wait list.
Those are, what do they call that?
Presumed consent.
Presumed consent. If the family doesn't agree to it, then it stops. So if you don't have that conversation to tell your loved ones, I want to be an organ donor, then it's not going to happen.
It's the driving force behind the next 2 days of kitchen table conversations these families are having with students and community members. A conversation Boulay recalls having with Logan a year before his death.
I looked at him and I said, wow, you're going to be 85 years old. No one's going to want your organs. He looked at me and said, no, I want to be an organ donor.
According to the Trillium Gift of Life Network, 35%, or about 4.7 million Ontarians, are registered donors. And since 2003, over 26,000 people in Ontario have received life-saving organ transplants.
It's surprising how many people really have no idea whether they have, kind of checked that box, so to speak.
And while there's still some pain knowing their sons aren't here anymore, both families acknowledge the gift of life Noah and Logan gave means they're alive today in other people. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
Municipal leaders from across the province are in Sudbury for the annual L'Association Française des Municipalités de l'Ontario, or AFMO. The two-day event focuses on innovation and the future of Francophone communities in Ontario. Yesterday, the federal government announced a $15,000 investment through FedNor. Officials say the funds will support the association's capacity building goals. The group's president calls it a hub for driving policy change.
It's a chance to get together and to have some rich discussions. It's especially important for AFMO to host an in-person conference so that we could get together and have our exchanges in French. For a lot of people it is their first language. It might be the language they're most familiar exchanging in, that they could really get their thoughts across in. And so being able to facilitate an environment, a forum for that to happen is important as well.
Sudbury is one of the largest municipalities that has the largest Francophone populations in Ontario. Right, and so the fact that we've been a part of that organization for a long time, so we're just happy to be able to host them here.
Events wrap up tomorrow afternoon. Time now for a short break here on CTV News. Coming up, Amanda will have your full weather forecast. For now, a look at the current conditions, and we are looking a lot warmer than where we were yesterday. It says fog in Sudbury. That's probably more mist. We're seeing a little bit heavier snow in the Chapleau area, but for the rest of us, light snow pretty much from one end of the broadcast region to another. -3 in Parry Sound. We'll have details after this.
Welcome back. Well, when it comes to the weather over the next week or so, I think the word of the day should be patience. We are going to get some milder conditions, but it's going to take a bit of time to get there. In the meantime, we are going to see some flurries throughout Thursday. By the time Friday rolls around, that's when we see some sunshine. Colder conditions, mind you, a little bit below seasonal, but at least we get to see some sunshine, right? At least to start the weekend anyways. 7-day forecast starting with Sudbury and Nickel Belt. 2 centimeters of snow for tomorrow, a high of -1, -7 on Friday, so a bit colder out there, like I said, but some sunshine. Chance of flurries on Saturday, high of -4, and then +3 for Sunday with a chance of sleet, so getting closer to the normal for this time of year. For Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, light snow for tomorrow, high of 1 degree, -4 on Friday, sunny skies, chance of flurries on Saturday, high of -2, and then +5 on Sunday, quite mild out there, 2 degrees above normal, and then a mix of sun and cloud to start the week on Monday, high of +3. For Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, light snow for tomorrow, high of -7. The low, though, -22, going to be quite cold out there. -10 on Friday, a mix of sun and cloud. Chance of flurries on Saturday, sleet on Sunday with those warmer conditions. High of +3, a chance of flurries on Monday. And for Timiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, 2 centimeters of snow. For tomorrow, high of -4, -9 on Friday, a mix of sun and cloud. Chance of flurries on Saturday, chance of sleet, rain, snow mix on Sunday, high of +2, and then we're holding on to that normal for this time of year as we continue into Monday. And finally, for North Bay, West Nipissing, 2 centimeters of flurries for tomorrow, high of 1 degree. -7 on Friday, sunny skies, chance of flurries on Saturday with a bit of sunshine as well, high of -4, +2 on Sunday, chance of sleet, 3 on Monday with a mix of sun and cloud, and that will continue on into Tuesday and into Wednesday. So we are going to see some milder conditions out there. We just have to be patient. So Ian, like I was saying, we're going to see some milder conditions. It's not bathing suit weather by any means, but it sure is an improvement. Sending it back to you.
I'll try to be patient. Thanks so much, Amanda. Well, one day before unveiling the provincial budget, word that Ontario will offer an HST break to homebuyers. CTV Siobhan Morris has the latest from Queen's Park.
It's a second attempt at waking up Ontario's sleepy home building industry, expanding a tax break for buying a new place introduced just 4 months ago.
We will be rebating the full HST for all new homes, no matter if you're a first-time buyer, second, or a 10-time buyer, you're getting the HST deducted.
For a limited time, buyers can knock a maximum of $130,000 off the cost of a new house or condo. The rebates scale down after a $1.5 million home. The hope is to spur construction of 8,000 new addresses.
Please, get everything together. You have 1 year.
The move costing Ontario an extra $1.4 billion. One of the line items when the Ford government introduces its budget Thursday. There's already been billions of dollars announced to support colleges and universities while scaling back OSAP grants and unfreezing tuition. There's $60 million for classroom supplies that elementary teachers will be able to pick themselves, and more cash to help connect every Ontarian with primary health care.
Look at this selection.
The finance minister choosing a Canadian-made tie to wear when delivering his spending plan. It will be the first with a full year under U.S. tariffs, a time when Peter Bethlen-Falvey acknowledges a lot of what was familiar has been upended.
Many people, are hurting. Their costs of everything is very high, and that's why we've been very focused on affordability.
Not increasing taxes as other provinces have this budget season. So no new streams of revenue coming in, and the finance minister has said his budget won't include any cuts. So in a precarious economic environment, the question is, how deep could Ontario's deficit and debt go?
They have been wasting billions of dollars on their pet projects, and now they don't have the resources and the fiscal capacity to do the things that people need.
And even with the debt approaching $500 billion, a projected deficit of $8 billion, that list doesn't stop.
We need to see some strong affordability measures in that budget. We need the government to address in a real way the hallway healthcare crisis that we have in this province.
At Queen's Park, Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
A poll commissioned by Ontario's largest public sector union finds widespread disapproval of the province's proposed changes to the Freedom of Information laws. 60% of respondents to the poll conducted by Abacus Data on behalf of CUPE oppose the changes, which will see the records of the Premier, Cabinet, ministers, parliamentary assistants, and their offices no longer be subject to public disclosure. 24% of respondents say they support the change, while 16% are unsure. Among progressive conservative voters, only 1 in 3 support the changes. A new program at Health Sciences North is helping to free up beds as the hospital continues to operate over capacity. It's called the Hospital to Home, known as the H2H program. CTV's Elena Everson explains.
The H2H program has been running for over a year now and supports patients as they transition safely from the hospital back to their homes with coordinated care and support.
We certainly have a large ALC population, and this certainly helps us streamline some of those patients who are ultimately waiting here for rehab. We certainly have a lot of applications to community beds And certainly being able to identify those patients on the unit who could go home with that ongoing rehabilitation.
When a patient's discharged, they receive a call within 24 hours for an initial assessment at home. So we get a nurse into their home within that 24 hours to make sure we have a good understanding of the patient's care needs, and a transition program is implemented right away. So they have nursing, physiotherapy, occupational therapy, PSW, so personal support workers, and then other allied health as needed.
HSN confirms daily occupancy often exceeds 110%, with an average of 644 patients cared for daily in a hospital with 526 inpatient beds. The program enables safe, timely discharge for patients who would otherwise remain in acute care beds.
This year we've had so from April to February, we've had 440 patients onboarded to the program. Our goal for the year was 400, so we are very happy to be surpassing that, and we are aiming to end this physical year with about 500 patients onboarded.
Health Sciences North says the hospital to home program has changed how it supports discharge to recovery, helping to ease the strain on hospital capacity. The program started in January of 2025 and is fully funded by Ontario Health. Alana Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
And Health Sciences North posting to social media today about its parking capacity. With all the recent snow, parking capacity on site has been reduced by about 335 spaces. The hospital is recommending carpooling or taking public transit when possible. Patients may also want to consider being dropped off or arriving earlier for scheduled appointments to allow extra time for parking. Still ahead tonight on CTV News. A prestigious award for a young student from Sudbury. We'll explain after this. A Sudbury High School student has won a prestigious award based on his character, service, and leadership potential. The scholarship is valued at $100,000. CTV's Madison Mary tells us more.
Hector Loisel was more than one of 5,400 applicants for the Lawrence Scholarship. As part of the application, he had a questionnaire, multiple interviews, but he successfully made it through them all.
I was grateful and lucky to be selected as one of the 36 winners.
He said the scholarship will make a big difference on his life. Graduating debt-free, having the opportunities for summer programs, and gaining a mentor.
I always knew I wanted to go to university for engineering. To go to McMaster for this program specifically, I just discovered it this year, and I did a lot of research on it online. I watched some videos of students that were in the program, what their day-to-day lives looked like, and it was just very interesting. It definitely was something I could see myself doing.
Combining his love of biology with engineering, which is unique. One of the things I know at Llewellyn that we kind of strive for is to have diversity with our student group, and I know with Hector, not only is he involved with robotics, he's been involved with cross-country skiing, he's heavily involved in academics here, he's in the band, and of course he's a world-class tumbler. So if interdisciplinary learning is one thing that we strive for here, Hector certainly embodies that.
Outside of his studies, Loisel works for a tutoring company and is very involved in gymnastics, which he credits much of his success to.
Being able to understand that all kids are different, and being able to adapt to help kids that maybe learn a little differently, or kids that maybe feel a bit embarrassed, to struggle, and teaching them that it's okay to make mistakes, and mistakes are where we grow. And I think just seeing the growth I learned through these two, both tutoring and gymnastics, they were really impressed by that, and that's probably part of the reason why I was selected for the scholarship.
Monte says Loisel is a perfect candidate and a great representative of Llewellyn Park Secondary School. Madison Marier, CTV News, Sudbury.
There were a couple big games tonight over in the NOJHL as the postseason continued. It looks like the Timmins Rock have tied up their series, and it took double overtime to do it. They come out on top over the Sioux Thunderbirds 3-2. The Powassan Voodoo put up a fight, but they fall in Game 4 to the Sioux Eagles to finish their season. And overtime was the common denominator tonight. It would take double overtime to solve the Lumberjacks Paper Kings game in Espanola, but Hearst seals the win and the series. They come away tonight with an 8-7 victory. Around 600 hockey players from across the province have been competing at 4 different arenas in Greater Sudbury as part of the annual Tournoi des Étoiles.
This tournament actually started pretty small for elementary schools, and then it just kind of grew and grew as there was more and more interest. So now we're up to 4 rinks, and we've got 32 teams participating this year.
The tournament is for grades 7 and 8 French-speaking players to practice their hockey skills with classmates. It also gives players of every level a chance to come together to play Canada's game.
I got a few teammates of mine who I've known since I was little, and it's just fun to play with them because they play rep and I play house league, so it's fun to be able to see what they do and learn a bit from them.
The 4 divisions of the tournament wrapped up this afternoon. Organizers hope this gave players a chance to practice teamwork, all in the French language. And we hope they enjoyed their time here in Sudbury. That takes us to the end of our newscast this Wednesday night. For the latest news anytime, remember you can head to our website, ctvnewsnorthernontario.ca. You can also download our CTV News app. Thanks for watching. Good night.